For this game, I am really gonna need some of the great reviewer's little helper.
I think that's enough. Don't you guys?
While the Wii was in its prime, anything that had to deal with kids was going to be put on it. Both TV and movie tie-in games flooded the system. And as much flack as these things get, they actually can be decent, but you have to find them first, which means a lot of trial and error. Now these games can range from anything from a solid B- to a, oh dear god, I played the video game equivalent of my sinus is draining painfully and I'm stuck in bed for the next 3 days. This game is the latter. Well, let's try to get my thoughts straight here, because we have a lot to unpack about this game. Well, let's get the easiest topic out of the way first. The story. You play the titled, big-eared, dumb-old-like mouse, Despero, who instead of doing the mouse-like thing and cowering, he wants to be brave and be a knight. The plot isn't too far off from the actual movie, which itself is an okay movie, but can be a cute time for younger kids. Even though the premise is a bit basic, seeing it's the, I'm not going to do the norm of my people type, it's fine and serviceable. Odd fact though, in the actual movie, the title really lives up to itself, seeing that this is actually a tale being told by somebody else's perspective. Meaning that the main character doesn't really pop in as much as you think so, especially as much as the advertising says so. Speaking of which, they played his annoying laugh a lot, and I mean a lot. Like this was supposed to be the character's catchphrase. Oh dear lord. It was played so much and so often, you got it stuck in your head. Oh, and at one point, the princess gets kidnapped or something, and you have to rescue her from another castle. Wait, why does this plot sound familiar? So, how do we go about rescuing said Princess P? Princess P. I honestly have no joke for this name. So, insert your own here. Well, we have to make our way down to the Rat Kingdom and fight the evil Rat King. Oh wait, that's the second half. Because the first half is all about the mouse police trying to catch you for not being afraid of... But wait, aren't you running away from them? For being afraid of being caught? Isn't that being afraid of something? Doesn't that mean he's doing the mask thing all along? Okay, I'm reading way too much into this because it is Tales of Despero after all. I'm just going to be upfront and say this. The controls suck. Instead of your character actually turning around on a dime, he has to turn around in an actual circle. He has to make a full running around like a bush circle and not just pivoting around on a base like most 3D games do. It's the fact that this game is plagued with, well, what I'm going to call Wii-titis. A symptom of it is that you have to include needless motion controls because, well, it's on the Wii. So you end up looking like this half the time. Oh come on, you all know what it's like to play most Wii games. And all the controls feel delayed, like I have to wait a half a second for it to respond. Especially when it comes to swinging the nunchucks around. It takes a full second for it to actually send some kind of feedback to you. Thankfully, half the time when you swing, you just have to head on over to the next part and don't have to worry about missing it. Cause yes, just like Blowout previously, if you're not paying attention, you can see your life go down fast. But on the bright side, if it does go down all the way, down to almost nothing, you still have some little bit of health left before you die. Oh wait, the game didn't tell me this and I had to find out the fun way. On the penultimate boss, after I defeat him, only to find out that somehow I fainted during the animation of him going away, and finding out that this happens in-game. It isn't its own cinematic. What? It's not life, it's courage, and you can increase it by drinking soup. What kind? I have no idea because they never tell you. Let's go ahead and talk about the final boss, shall we? First, you really only meet him in only the last few chapters out of 16. When you find him, you can't really hurt him unless you shine a light on him. And of course, they don't tell you this till you're already in the middle of the fight. Just hit on him until he kneels, put the light on him 5 times, and then you win! But this makes no sense. The princess is there the whole entire time, sitting right next to the whole fight. These are mice and rats. She could literally stand up and step on them. She is so huge compared to them. So why can't she help my tiny rear end and just step on the Rat King and end this torturous game?
Oh god! Why? Why? Oh God, why?
You guys have no idea how painful this game was to play through. The respawning system makes no sense, because it respawns you right in the exact same location. So if you get stuck in a location with a patrolling enemy, combined with the delayed motion controls, you can get stuck in an infinite respawning death loop. If it's not the controls, it's the unmovable camera. This game is supposed to be a 3D platformer. A movable camera, or at least a smart placement, can help, but this is neither, meaning that half the time you're jumping, you're always second guessing if you're going to land or line up perfectly, and this alone has led to way too many deaths, either by hitting enemies or falling off. Of course, you respawn, but only slightly lower health, and if all of this won't get to you, this will. This is where I'm going to actually plug you guys watch me stream, because if I wasn't recording it, I wouldn't have believed it myself. This game, which came out for 2009 for the Nintendo Wii, was played on my Wii U when I streamed it. I streamed all 5 hours of it, and during these 5 hours of me streaming, this game made my Wii U hard crash 3 times. It crashed so hard that no buttons became responsive. I had to unplug my system each time for it to restart. I have never, ever played a game that has done this to my console. I had to take the game out and play Twilight Princess just to double check the game and my console was okay, and really wash the bad taste of this game out of my mouth. I had to sit there and basically play 7 to 8 hours of Twilight Princess to make sure that I was not going crazy, to make sure my console is okay, because if you guys don't know, the price of the Wii U is actually slightly going up because now it's a collector's item, and I do not want to lose this thing. This game is horrible. The horribly programmed hit detection, the horrible camera, the horrible controls, and of course, the runtime. If I take away the time it took me to reboot my console, I beat this game in under 5 hours. Even less if it wasn't for all the cheap death loops I got in a couple of times. And dear lord, if I were to give this game any positive at all, is that the cutscenes you do use this cool speed paint hand-drawn look to give it a little pop-up storybook feel. Fine, it scores 1 point, but that doesn't counteract all of these. This game earns the lowest of the low, a 0.5 out of 5. This game is just horrible. With only one good talking point about it, this game really leaves you feeling dirty. Looking at the IGN review, they say not to give this game the time of day, and they gave it a score of 1.9. Dear God, don't I agree with them? Stay away from the game at all cost. It wasn't worth the $3 I spent on it. I spent less on cheaper games and got more value of it. Look at the very first episode of this challenge. I spent $2 on a DS game and got way more content out of this $3 game. This is the worst Wii game I have ever played. It definitely ranks up there with the worst games I've ever played in general. I have to do something. I need to get all this negative junk out of my system. I need to go back to my happy place. I need to go back to my center, to my familiar happy place. So why not join me on my journey as we go from world to world, town to town, all with a Keyblade in hand, as we explore the world of Kingdom Hearts 3. As my first modern game review is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 coming up soon, guys. As you guys probably saw my playthrough of it, it was an adventure, especially that ending. I had to leave on some kind of happy note because this game was just horrible. Stay away from it. It's now officially on the worst Wii game list, worst console game list, and now probably the worst games list I've ever played. But until next time, guys, I'm gone. I'm Ghost. I'm out of here in my past tense. I'll see you guys later.